You guys, of course, they taught us that fear keeps us safe and that we need it. And do you still think this way? I bet you do. I don't. I've actually realized, there's conspiracy theories and everything, and one of them is more terrifying than the other one. Well, this one is actually the most fucking terrifying thing I've ever came across. Um, they're using the fear. They're letting you believe that fear actually helps you in life in order to control you, in order to control all of us. And you know what is fucking working? Um, let me tell you. Okay. You think of the situation whenever the car goes at you and you're afraid, and therefore you jump out and save your life. Or whenever somebody runs after someone and they're in this life or death situation, they got this crazy fear and therefore superpower, and they throw this car onto somebody else, which is, the adrenaline rush, and they get it because they're petrified, and therefore their life has been saved. Well, fantastic. I got taught that bullshit at school, and yeah, I mean, in the paradigm which they present to us, that makes enormous sense, and that does help us for real. But let me present the other point of view to you, and you can decide for yourself whether you agree with it or not. So, what if this whole adrenaline rush type of shit that our body out of a sudden is able to create, or this crazy type of thinking or things that we're able to do whenever we are really scared, or things that scarcity kind of pushes us to do. Let's take the positive one, because there's the whole range of negative fucking ones, right? People can kill out of fear. Okay, so let's not go into that. But we're talking about the good stuff. The fear can help us with. What if those things, they're actually our birthright? What if we're actually able to do all of that without fear? What if it's just completely accessible to us in every single moment? It's just that because we're being taught that we need fear, and we are kind of programmed into fear every fucking second of our childhood, actually. We grow up this ourselves, which actually are our huge, vast, enormous self, powerful self, put into this tiny little bottle of fear. And every once in a while, we allow ourselves to experience things that we would have been able to experience at any given moment, whenever we decide to, if not the fear. We think that if not fear, if we get control over those things that we can actually do, our infinite power, those supernatural things, which a lot of people have proven that they are completely accessible to everybody after a little bit of training, which basically means just to fucking allow yourself to, and to believe that you're able to do that. Maybe those things are just suppressed because of trauma. Maybe we're just those painful little hateful fucks because of all the pain we've had to endure and believe that that's the way the world is, and that we have to deal with it. This phrase, me and her against the whole world, Yo, why do you have to be against anything? Who taught you that shit? Somebody did. You believe that that's the biggest wisdom you've gotten to learn through your big mistakes, which you will not repeat anymore. But I'm sorry, I might actually sound very negative and hateful here. The thing is, I've worked through so much bullshit that you have no idea. And what I came to, the conclusion I came up with is help, like, fear doesn't actually help us. It makes us fucking handicaps, living our miserable lives and trusting the governments and the more smart, more powerful people to govern our lives. Giving our hopes to the celebrities, which we quietly follow because we are not capable of living the way we want or doing things we actually want to, because we've been programmed into fear our entire lives. Same with healthcare, and same with anything, really. I will try not to go into supernatural things we can do, such as, I don't know, telepathy, this entering this incredible stages and states of consciousness, and, you know, this incredible power and strength that our bodies are actually capable to experience with maybe if we take control over our bodies, over the adrenaline things in our body and other things. I'm not gonna try to go into this Shaolin monks type of shit, but what if we don't need fear? What if we never needed fear? Because, you know, there is a curtain, and on another side of it, there's freedom. But we've never gotten to even imagine how it is because we've been petrified. And you think that fear helps you or just protects you, or you think there is no other way because you might not know that that's just the way you've been programmed. Well, by who? Well, think of it. Maybe by those fuckers with power who, just program the entire society, who write this program for schools, and then maybe it's kind of this entire big corporations, not corporations, but more like political something. They want to keep people under control, because everybody would be free. That would be chaos. That's what they tell you. What if everybody is free and not petrified and not in pain? Then nobody actually needs to do violence or anything out of it being suppressed into their petrified, traumatized little system. And everybody would just chill the fuck out. I mean, that's just a thought. Take it or leave it. But coming back to who was programmed as, okay, maybe those big guys, everybody who's a fan of conspiracy theory kind of means when they talk about bad guys. But what if it's deeper? What if those are the people you trust the most when you're a little tiny kid and you can't really get anything you want or get to do anything you want by yourself? Those are the gods which we look up to because they can do whatever they want and they can give it to us or take it away from us as well. So what if those powerful gods are petrified and programmed into fear and pain themselves? I've really seen people who have been brought up by this incredible people, beings of light, who are very conscious and beautiful. They're beautiful souls, and their children are as well. And I've learned the difference between those incredible cases, those marvels, and most of us. And you know what? I think that's okay, because once we get to undo that petrifying, traumatizing impact that's been onto us for such a long time, for decades, really, we get to do that step by step. Well, not only do we get our freedom back, our birthright or whatever, but also we get to look at the world from all different perspectives, from all different versions of ourselves that we used to be at some point in our life. And it really gets super hard to judge anything at that point, because you know how it was when you were there, and you know that you don't have to choose that anymore. Well, again, as there are these people who were brought up by these amazing beings, and they just haven't been painfully manipulating their children into fear, scarcity, maybe lack, maybe pain. That's actually great. They just don't have those enormous traumas in their system. But even if we were, we usually feel a lot of resentment toward those experiences. But what if that actually was the most liberating thing that could happen to us, because it gave us kind of the background for us to undo it? Because, okay, what has happened to us may have not always been our choice or things we could influence, but it is always our choice when it comes to what we choose to do with it further in life, especially as we grow up. And I don't necessarily believe that there's a lot of space for us to undo it for as long as we're still children and live with our parents, if they are the ones hurting us or programming us into things that don't actually benefit us, which they might not be even aware of. In most cases they are not, and that's completely not anybody's choice. But what I say is that you are able to undo it and create any type of life experience for yourself that you want. You can liberate yourself from whatever shit you've been through, and especially pain, especially fear. And okay, they're actually interconnected. Most of the fear comes from fear of pain eventually. But what if we don't have to be afraid of pain? And this has been the biggest trauma releasing experience I've ever done to myself, I've ever had done to myself, because I definitely used to believe it. And you know, if I look or hear what I'm saying kind of from the third perspective, I definitely hear that it does seem logical to be afraid of pain, because you know, you need to kind of be cautious, and in order not to repeat the same experiences in life. But what if we actually create our reality? What if we actually manifest everything that's going on around us every second, and we truly just are the sources of everything that's being mirroring onto every single person / situation that we come across? I mean, that might not be, you know, ordinary, normal type of things or ways of thinking, but that's definitely something I have experienced. And as you undo those traumas and fears that you've been carrying within yourself, you will see how magically the reality will start shifting in front of your eyes, and it will be nothing like before. And the coolest part is that you won't be either. And you know what? That's okay. The funniest thing about fear is that it's scary to start liberating yourself from it, because we actually unconsciously want to be hostages of it, because we've been programmed that this way we are safe and there's no other way to be safe for us. And well, if you feel like working on it, I'm actually doing 101s. That's not the advertisement video or anything. It's just the facts. I do the first session free, so for free, so you can write me to the email address below this video, but you can do that yourself, or just find whoever you wish to work with on it, although not all therapists work with it well, I believe. But it's I've came across a lot of some good therapists, really. So it depends. The thing is not to be petrified, to work on fear, to liberate ourselves from fear, and to allow ourselves another perspective than the one we've been brought up into by educational system, by our parents, by whoever it is we used to trust and look up to. And you know what? We did it at the time because we really had to survive in that environment, and we really had to get the things we needed to get at that point, at that time. And that's okay. And there's no point in blaming ourselves for getting programmed, because there was actually no other way when we were tiny little creatures without any power. You know what I mean? In the physical world, and we had to kind of cater to our caregivers. Well, fantastic. But no, we don't have to believe that. And what if we create our reality? If we are afraid of things, we actually manifest them and bring them into our experience? And what if we don't think about something as a threat ever? It won't even happen to us, because it won't need to, because there's no vibrational friction against it or in that direction whatsoever. So that's how I see the world. I have my reasons, and after working through a lot of bullshit, I'm pretty sure about that. But it's up to you. It's just a little kind of another point of view which I offer for you to think about. And it depends on you whether you decide to go for it or not. If you listen till the end, thanks a lot. It's cool to have you here. You're welcome to leave comments. I don't know, subscribe, stay if you feel the vibe. If not, thanks for watching, and hopefully see you soon.